everyone, it's Rachel Lynn here, your host of today's CMA podcast. Thank you so much for joining us again. Today we have our special guest, Christopher Michael Forbes, a designer of urban and luxury brands. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Yourself?
Good, thank you. So how was your travels down here?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Tell
Everything
me
looks
more.
the same. Everything looks the same once you get past the city. So,
Yes.
But it's a beautiful culture.
It is. It's a beautiful view. So today we've heard that you have your own designing brand called Christopher Michael Forbes.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Basically, my brand is more on the likes of, I call it the unicorn. Basically, what I do is I want to take the everyday person. You know, that's the one thing that the history behind a unicorn is nobody really knows what it is. I mean, you got the example of a horse with a big, I want to say like a stick in the middle of its head, but that's kind of the example I have for everybody else. You know, nobody really knows you until they really touch you and feel you and get to see what you're doing. What I try to do with garments is put garments on you that brings that a little bit more out of you. I mean, the garments don't make you, you make the garments. You know? That's my vision of fashion.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And I do hear that you have Khaki fashion brand, which is the clothing overcoming criticism with kindness and intelligence.
Yes.
And how did you get inspired to name that brand?
I'm a Jersey native, Trenton, New Jersey to be exact. But I grew up majority of my life in Dallas, Texas. And so I've seen everything from the slum to I won't even say the high end because you really don't know how high you could actually go. But basically when I started designing Khaki, it was basically, I was at the University of Missouri where I graduated in 2005. And T-shirts became a real big thing. And everybody was tearing shirts up, ripping them up. And we ran into a group of certain people on the campus. It was like, yo, why you guys wearing that hood stuff? Why is everything got to be so hood? And I was like, hood. I said, well, I feel like I'm couture. And he's like, no, you're not hood. You're not couture. And I was like, hood, couture, that kind of sounds good. And so I wanted to exemplify a brand. Everybody called me cocky growing up. Oh, Chris, you think you're cocky. You think you're cocky. And I needed something to stand behind it. I don't feel like, I don't like to fit into a category box. And so I just broke down one day, and this is a true story, I was sitting down trying to break down words that would fit my characteristics. So it was clothing overcoming criticism with kindness and intelligence. So
that's awesome.
I feel like I'm a little bit intelligent.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, can you say that you not only design luxury brands, but you as well design urban style?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it so much urban. That's more of my everyday wear.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, urban, you put yourself in a box. So I would say everyday wear. So if I want to make some ripped jeans with a nice casual top, it's just hood couture. So.
I love it though. I love how you can get the inspiration to mix both blends into one piece.
Yeah, it's like mixing hip hop and classical music. You know, without mixing the blend, you don't get a masterpiece. You get what I'm saying? So,
that's different.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
And as well, you did touch that you are out of Dallas, or you were out of Dallas?
Yes, I was out of Dallas. Very beautiful city. Very hard to make it, but very beautiful city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did see that you did Black Egypt of Raw Dallas.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Oh man, I'm real big in the culture of learning more about my heritage. I'm Black and Dominican, but the stem of all races, it stems from the Egyptian culture, the African culture.
That's beautiful.
And so I always try to say that you have to know your value, and not just know your value as a person, but know your value in your culture. And I think that gold is the richest means of the world. I think it's more important than a dollar. I mean, it's been around for years, you know. And so as far as currency, and so I figured that black is the pure color of anything. I mean, when you go to a high-end gathering, what do women put on? They put on black. They want to feel elegant.
Little black dress.
So I just call it Black Egypt. So everything I touch, I want it to be gold, and I feel like the roots behind it is black. So it's called Black Egypt. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I did hear that you do touch on the gold pieces. Now, do you kind of incorporate gold into a lot of the designs that you create?
Yes. Like I said, you want to go gold in everything you do. And like I said, it's being prestigious at the same time. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and one of the things that I realized joining the fraternity was a lot of people join not knowing what that name carries. You know what I mean? I realized real quick that it's a legacy. You know, you look at people like Dr. King, W.E.D. Du Bois, you know, you got people of those good statures that they didn't want to come into the world to just make an impact. They wanted to leave a legacy behind so that when they leave, you're still talking about them. You know, I say this all the time. I have to refer everything back to hip hop. you don't want to be an artist to where when they hear your lyrics, they go, oh, that was a good jam. You want them, you hear Big, they recite his lyrics, and you're hearing it in other artists.
You want them to feel inspired.
That's what I want to be. That's what I want to be.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I love that you have that mindset, and of course, it does show in a lot of the pieces that I've seen on all your social media platforms.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I try. I try.
So now, what age did you start to pursue a career in design?
My senior year in high school. Okay. Like I said, I graduated University of Missouri Criminal Justice.
Wow. So different.
Should have never done it. I should have never done it. I spent a lot of my parents' hard work money on a degree I don't even use. I knew in high school, honestly. I went by the name Mike Forbes in high school because I thought Christopher Michael was too white boyish, if you will. And I kept telling my mom, like, I need a cool name. And I'm trying to be a popular kid. I need a cool name. I was a chunky kid growing up. And so I went by Mike Forbes. And I saw FUBU was out when I was growing up, 2001.
I remember.
2000, 2001. And so it was all sweatshirts, hoodies, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was always about taking it to the next level. So I didn't just want T-shirts. I wanted T-shirts that had layers behind it, patches on it. So I wasn't in home ec. I thought I was too good for home ec at the time, which I wish I would have took it then. But a girl was like, hey, I can sew it for you. And she sold me my first T-shirt, and I was like, oh, I could do something with this. Man. God be the glory. Here I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And did you as well, around that same time, do the seamstress as well? Because I know you did say that you... No,
I didn't actually pick it up becoming a tailor until after I graduated college. Okay. I had a whole bunch of shirts, man, that, when you living on a budget and you're in college, all your stuff get holes in it. And you either turn it inside out or and this girl's like, boy, you need to learn how to stitch your own clothes up. And I was like, well, show me. Her name was Bianca Gates. And she showed me. Bianca. Yeah, Gates Barbecue, Kansas City, Missouri. And so she showed me how to do it, and here I am.
That's wonderful.
Here I am. Yeah.
And so, do you still do a lot of the tailoring to all your pieces, or do you actually have people to do that for you?
Not yet. Not humble enough to have a lot of employees just yet. But I'm in a position where I think God's put me on a path where I need to not only know my work, but I need to know my work inside out. So I need to know how to be able to instruct somebody on how I want my garments to look. So this is kind of trusting the process, the position I'm in right now.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And as well, today I am wearing one of his lovely pieces that he did design. This is for your woman brand, I guess.
Yes.
Now, where did you get the inspiration to design the piece that I'm currently
wearing?
I
said, everything stems from Egypt. So
I do feel a little royal that
yes. So what I did was when I put the jewels actually on the garment, it actually had squares. Like it's a print that had like squares of jewels. Yes. And so what I did was I went to your local Michael's and I said, let me try to emulate the jewels. Like let me bring the shirt to life. So, I went and I picked the jewels that were of the same color of the garment. I went in and I started hand stitching them on. Like I said, I'm a self-taught designer.
Hand stitched everything. Wow.
And so
that's awesome.
I had to teach myself. Like I said, I didn't go to school to learn how to do tailoring and sewing. So in order for me to get to know it inside out, like I said, this is the process. I had to teach myself how to do this. So I learned that you can use some E600 glue, put it on there, then you start tacking it down, and you kind of make a garment. And so this is actually one of my proud pieces because I think this is when I started teaching myself how to evolve, learning how to become an actual designer. Because
that's awesome.
People were calling me a designer before I think I was a designer, and I stop a lot of people. I tell them, I just became a designer. You have to know how to sketch. You have to know how to look at something. Like I tell you, if you can take a blank canvas and you can make it beautiful, you're an artist. You can't take a canvas that's already created and say, oh, I threw splash on there and I'm an artist. No, an artist knows how to take it from A to Z. You know what I mean? So
I love how you have that mindset.
Yeah.
And it does, of course, show in your work. You can definitely look at a piece and then create something beautiful from it.
I appreciate
which
that.
I do love this. And it's very comfortable.
Yes.
Which comfortability is definitely something that a lot of us women love to have.
If women aren't pleased, fashion world is not happy. Yeah.
So now, are you looking to branch out, maybe possibly work with other designers, or?
Yes. I'm actually in the process of, like I said, I'm new here to New York, so thank God I'm here.
How long ago did you move back?
5 months ago.
5 months. Wow, that's so new.
Yeah, so. I'm a baby. I'm still wearing Pampers right now, and so but I want to get with other designers. Like I said, I want to learn the culture of what they're doing. Like I said, they can teach me something. I can teach them something. Hopefully, and so and just getting a wide span of knowledge. Like I said, that's my whole deal in this business. I believe the old process of networking with people, I think that it's one thing I grasped too, coming into the business of becoming a designer, because when you learn somebody else's culture, when I get to know your background, then when I make a piece that symbols your background, I become one with your culture. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's the blessing of networking, and I think that getting with other designers just enhances that ability.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, do you see yourself possibly creating like a store base for all of your designs?
That's small string. That's small string.
Yeah.
My ultimate goal, God be the glory, is to become a household Nike. I want to be Nike.
Wow.
I don't want to. Like I said, in order to be like a Dr. King or somebody like that, you have to set your goal high. Like a store is just a store. There's stores on every corner when you go to New York City. I want a legacy, like I said, and it's gonna take a lot of work.
It's wonderful. God bless.
Yeah.
It will come together.
It will. I've dreamt about it before. So it's not that it's something far-fetched that I can't see. It's just making sure I take the right steps. Somebody said earlier today, you never want to take steps backwards, and that's my goal. So it's like being so intricate that you make sure you don't want to put too much paprika in your food. You want to make sure you put just enough so when you taste it, you eat it, you get done with it. You don't want to make it and then you have to throw it away because you put too much. You know what I mean?
That's so true, and it definitely shows, and it does, show into your work that you're so inspired by all these awesome designs.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
As well, are you possibly traveling?
We got a show in Dubai in March 2018.
Wow.
Yes.
2018. Stay tuned.
Yes, that's the major blessing. Yeah, that's the major blessing. We did Pin Show 2016 in Dallas, and we had a designer who was actually from Dubai, and he was like, "Hey, how long have you been designing?" And I told him, I said, "It's only been 2 years." He's like, "There's no way." I was like, "This is the truth. 2 years."
It was meant to be.
Yeah, and like I said, you gotta know where your higher power comes from, and once that's driven to you, there's no stopping. You can run from it all you want. It's gonna happen.
So now, is some of your featured pieces on your media outlets going to be featured in the Dubai show?
Well, no, we're coming with something totally different from Dubai. Yeah. You got to step your game up in Dubai.
All right.
Yeah, they're ahead of us right now. So, like I say, it's going to be more of your high-end, your couture for the men. I really want to start displaying more of my men garments. I have some of my pieces on now. But you want to... It's time to bring the man back, I've noticed that a lot of things now, guys are wearing more tight fit clothes. I mean, I've gone with the times as well, but we got to get back to the standard of making sure we're the image for the younger generation. You know what I mean? So with that, I mean, I think the women are in good hands. Fashion is in great hands with the women, but the men, we need to step our game up. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you stay up with all the trends to try to implement it into your design?
I'm a dad. Yeah, I mean, I have an 11-year-old daughter who, if I don't wear something nice, she will let me know. So with that being said, I have no choice but to stay up on times, and like I said, and it's just like I said, I want to have a legacy. So anytime I go somewhere, I want people to say, "Hey, I saw that guy. I didn't know him, but I like what he had on," So just knowing that, I feel like I carry it early on my shoulders. A lot of people say, when you're successful, it's hard because you have to pursue this persona about yourself that you have to carry all the time. But this is who I am. You know what I mean? I grew up not having a lot. My dad always told me I was better than. So I'm in a position now to where not only did I believe what he said, he's bred that into my spirit, but now I want that. It's like, that's my drive now. I'm better than what I thought I was. So in order to be better than, you have to keep going. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And I did as well see that you have a special type of fabric on your Instagram. Can you tell me more about that?
Man, I got blessed.
Because it's beautiful.
I ran into a designer in Dallas. She was closing her shop up, and I met her on OfferUp. This was crazy. My wife's like, "Yo, this is an app called OfferUp." I was like, "Well, go on there, see if you can find fabric." And so the guy was like, "Hey, are you serious about fashion design?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Show me some of your work." I've never had anybody ask me that. I showed him some of my work. He said, "You don't need this fabric." So what do I need? So this fabric's $45 per yard. I looked at him. I was like, "Do you see what I got on right now? I don't have $45 per yard." He said, "I'll give you a great deal on it if you promise me one thing." I was like, "What?" He said, "You have to make it to where whatever you design, it becomes something mainstream." I've been holding this fabric for maybe 4 years now. I posted it on Instagram.
4 years.
4 years.
Holding the fabric.
I posted it on Instagram because I was like, I've been having dreams about something big's about to happen. And I just said, I just showed the fabric. And it went crazy. It went viral on Instagram.
Beautiful.
They were like, "Oh my God, what is that? What are you gonna make?" So
Can you give us any like sneak peeks of what it might come together?
Princess Diana.
Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Princess Diana.
That's beautiful.
That's what I call the fabric. Yeah.
That's gorgeous. And it does show it. I mean, I love how the texture, and it just shines.
Yeah,
like
man.
a princess.
When I hold it, I'm like, can I make a bracelet out of that? No, yeah, but it's nice. It's
That's
nice.
awesome.
It's nice, yeah.
So anything that you're going to possibly end 2017 with?
Oh man, I'm hoping to.
Design?
I'm hoping to get ready and we have a lot of photo shoots coming up. I have an artist that I'm dealing with. Her name is Bianca Munez. We have a commercial that we're putting together. Actually, I really can't speak too much on it because I don't really want to give it away. But
you guys have to stay tuned.
Yeah. It's gonna be a beautiful thing.
That's
it's gonna
wonderful.
be a beautiful thing. Yeah.
And for the fans and possibly designers that are just starting to go into design, what can you tell them to try to give them some inspiration?
Nothing's easy. I will honestly tell you, nothing's easy. If you're used to people believing in you, then you need to find another backbone. And I'm just being honest with you. People don't believe in you until you make it. You have to believe in yourself before you even make it. Before you even get your vision, you have to believe in yourself. So if you can do that, you can weather a storm.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today at our CMA podcast.
Yes.
And of course, for the fans at home, how can they follow you and get in touch with you? What are your social media?
Anything social media is Christopher Michael Forbes, CHRISTOPHERMICHAELFORBES. It's a long name. And website coming soon, ChristopherMichaelForbes.com. Fashion world, just get ready for us. You're
awesome.
Coming.
Stay tuned, and thank you so much for joining us at today's CMA podcast with Christopher Michael Forbes.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Bye, guys.